Should I get mine? I feel like I should get mine, but I can't. I just can't.
No, we're on the porch. You can't run off now.
I can't.
You wish you had your jersey on that looks like this.
I just want to show the support, but I really don't.
Drew Bledsoe, the greatest American patriot ever.
Oh, jeez.
If he hadn't run like a wounded gazelle to the sideline, slow enough for Mo Lewis to clock his sorry ass,
we would have perhaps never seen the best backup quarterback in the history of the game.
Absolutely. Everything happens for a reason, Ian. I just keep trying to tell you that. So let's go. Weather on the threes for Ian Van Larkham. What's happening in Chelmsford?
It is a bust out your favorite flannel, fire up the crock pot, grab your slippers type of day down here in Massachusetts.
Nice.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you have a crock pot going?
Of course. Yeah. Oh. Sarah actually is doing something in the crock pot today. She's making some kind of a buffalo chicken dip.
Dang.
For us to enjoy later at the 3 p.m. kickoff. I think she and I might be the only one eating it. My kids like buffalo chicken sandwiches, buffalo chicken wings, but they're a little wary of dips in general. I don't know.
That's some psychology I don't understand.
It really is. It really is. It really is. But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know.
Is that a new generation thing?
Oh,
Daniel's nodding. Young Daniel is also wary of dips. So yes,
is it? I mean, were you wary of dips after the Seinfeld episode when George went to his girlfriend's funeral?
If it's a good dip, I'll eat someone else's saliva in there. I don't care.
I do
a buffalo dip.
You,
yeah, I got triple dip. I don't care.
I honestly never actually thought of it. It enlightened me because I was like, I think I do that. I think I never thought about turning the chip around. I said, I think I do that.
All right. That's
anyway.
A good life lesson.
Right?
All right. So despite the fact I recommended, we got a new listener, and then I heard quickly back that the football part of the pod is boring, but we got 3 more games. So...
we can't abandon it now.
We have to address today. So what do you think is going to happen today?
There have been, the regular pundits on ESPN and NFL Network and so forth. More than one have said, don't sleep on Stidham and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, the Pats drafted him in 2019 or something, but I'm like, he last threw a pass in the NFL in 2023 against the Raiders, who honestly haven't been good since Gruden was coaching them, right?
He was with the Raiders. He was with
the Raiders.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't been good since Madden coached them. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But either way, he's started 4 NFL games, I think, and he's 1-3. And I'm like, I have nothing against him. I'm sure he's a great person, but this is a heck of an arena to just jump into and say, I'm going to light it up in mile high and foul weather against an incredible defense that stopped Houston last week and the Chargers the week before. And, they've gone down since you and I were talking. They went from I think originally 5.5 point favorite. I think they've dropped to 3.5. Barring terrible weather, I think they take it by 9 or 10. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. I just think the D is going to step up and do what they're supposed to do. I don't know I don't hold a lot of credence to anything that Stephen A. Smith says because I think he's kind of an idiot. But he laid it out there and said, in his vernacular, Pats, if you don't win, it's going to be a tough offseason and no one's going to forgive you and no one's going to let you off the hook. And, I'm not sure what he gains by that kind of a challenge, but
that's foolishness. If they had lost at Houston, it still would have been an astounding season. So,
of course, really, were they 15-4 from 4-13?
They're playing with house money. They're
come
good.
on.
Yeah, I just think, and you have always been someone who considers the home field advantage as a real thing.
Sure.
And I think that I just think it's going to be a low scoring game. I see maybe a tie toward the end. And
really?
The rookie kicker. I think Bojangles is going to step up and win it for us. So I can't remember his name. It's like that. But.
No, I know. He's yes. Yeah,
I do have a conspiracy theory to bounce off you.
Fire when ready.
Rob Nikovich, linebacker, Pats.
Yep.
Probably won 3 or more championships with him.
Yep, I remember.
He said that Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson in the Super Bowls that they ended up blowing giant leads on kept throwing because the offensive coordinators.
Hi, Jonah.
John is here. The offensive coordinators of those teams want the quarterback to be MVP. And so that helps the OCs get future gigs.
Wow.
Because if Matt Ryan didn't keep throwing, if Russell Wilson didn't keep throwing, I don't know if they will.
Oh, they don't win.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell Wilson, the whole world was like, why isn't Marshawn Lynch running?
Well, remember when the Falcons were back and if they had just kicked a field goal, it would have been over. And they kept throwing and just kept getting pushed back and back and back. I just think it's an interesting theory about human error and hubris and, and at the very highest level, but also like the most basic level at the same time. Like,
sure,
dudes just want to move whatever their agenda is and they think they've got it in the bag.
Because, I mean, I guess I would just, as an observation, I would say McDaniels hasn't seemed to have any problems getting head coaching jobs when he's wanted them, but he just keeps coming back. Maybe they just haven't been on the right teams.
I love a guy who can stay in his lane. If he's an OC and that's what he is,
right?
He's getting by on his couple million a year. God bless him.
Right.
I think
it's a struggle.
It's a struggle.
That's an interesting theory. I mean, I'm certainly not above the fact that there are maybe premeditated endings to certain games. I'd love to think that's not the case. I know a couple of our friends have been saying it's like the WWE for a number of years now. And sometimes it's really, really hard to ignore that when you see Brady getting all the calls and when you see Mahomes getting all the calls. And some of the calls this year have just been atrocious, and it seems like a lot of them went in Rodgers' favor, and maybe they're trying to keep that going. There's another theory just off of that somebody was pontificating that they brought back the new Steelers coach
Holmgren. They just hired him.
McCarthy.
Oh, McCarthy, thank you.
Mike McCarthy. That they hired him to bring to keep Rodgers playing.
Yeah. That sounds stupid to me, but that's what I like. I like about sports is like some stupid, selfish, short-sighted decision that ends up affecting the professions of dozens of people.
Right. I mean, McCarthy certainly has the pedigree for it, and I think we talked a couple weeks ago that Pittsburgh's had 4 coaches in something like 30 years or something. So, they must be in for the long haul, one would expect.
And I think it's 50 because it would be Chuck Knowles was in the 70s.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I asked our friend Ken about that, our rabid Pittsburgh fan, and he was like, McCarthy, So,
I agree with Ken.
I don't know. But I think the other game is going to be pretty interesting because when you look at this season, the Rams beat the Hawks first, and then the Hawks beat them in overtime by a point. But the Rams put up 30-plus points on them the last game, and that was in week 16 or something.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a pick 'em.
That's really not a foregone conclusion. Everyone's going Seattle. I don't know, man.
No.
Stafford is
Yeah.
hungry and ready to go, and he's got those receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's definitely a pick 'em. I know I took him.
Yeah.
I took the Hawks with the points, but I'd love to see the Rams go. And that would be if the Pats won the Rams one. That would be the third time they've seen each other,
Yeah. And three very different iterations of the teams,
right?
certainly.
Right.
Yeah.
Greatest show on turf, and then
Yeah.
the sixth one they won. Anyway, it's going to be great. I'm psyched. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I hope it's not super low scoring. A lot of the playoff games have been kind of boring in a lot of ways, but
we have to shift to James because
Yes.
we promised people spoilers.
we did.
So if you have not finished James, I don't know what to tell you.
Your time's up.
So, all right. Your problem with the book is
I just don't buy James or Jim as Huck's father. I think there's certainly suggestion that Everett is saying there was some tomfoolery happening between owners and slaves, or owners' wives and slaves, or owners and slaves' wives. There's no question. I'm certain of it. But all versions of Jim, all visual versions of Jim, showed him as an incredibly dark-skinned person, and all versions of Huck have not shown anything suggesting that he would be light-skinned or passable or anything, which I know is it's not Twain's words, it's the images, and that's different. But I also am not as convinced that, I mean, there's definitely a paternal element, right, in Jim and Huck in the original story. There's definitely he takes care of him, even though Huck mistreats him so badly. Well, not mistreats him necessarily, but I guess marginalizes him. It's a step too far for me in that regard.
I'll be curious to see what Steven Spielberg does with it. His making
Yes,
a movie.
that is fascinating. That is fascinating, and who he'll cast.
Yeah. Well, is that going to be part of it? I think the code
It's
switching
gonna
in the
have to be.
language is will be, and that'll be fascinating.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Are they? I mean, you talking about the N word? Are they going to use it as frequently as it's in the novel? Because
yeah. I am very curious to see. I mean, he certainly has taken on some challenging topics in the past.
sure,
And yeah, I understand what you're saying, and it strains credibility, the paternity aspect of it. I think that I let it go. I mean, I think that there's so much about the book that stayed with me, like even him expressing the difference between Jim and James.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
And that I think, especially teaching it and what we are called really matters. And I think that it's something from a place of privilege. It's so easy to forget, because and I'm experiencing it with my second child, who is who goes, or pronouns are they, that they are going to say, and the one thing that they've done is incredibly taught me over and over again, what it means, and at the same time, Sid is so gracious about slips and errors, and if somebody refers to them as she, that they're like, it's fine, and it's powerful for us to know, especially of our generation, that it's okay to mess up, just kind of have the best intentions, And what James is pointing out is that no one involved in slavery had the best intentions.
No.
That him confronting somebody who considers himself to be a great, gracious owner at the end, the surprise that always comes from a white face hearing an articulate black person in the book, I think is incredibly telling. I just found it fascinating and worth the read, and I think worth the objections. And if a book fires you up like that, fantastic. If it pisses you off, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's successful writing, and it certainly didn't. It didn't reduce any of the other effects of the novel for me. That was the point. I said, okay, no, but everything else about it was so tremendous. I mean, obviously, the obvious point is James gets agency, right? Yeah. He gets to tell his own story. He gets to be an active participant, and he gets to do his own thing. Yeah. The whole idea of identity kept reverberating with me throughout the entire thing. Identity, which is formed through yourself, through society, certainly now, and absolutely then, through family, through everything, right? So I had a couple things about identity that I just wanted to talk about. One was when James is trying to convince Norman to be passes the white owner and to sell him, and he can escape and get the money and go back and forth. And it's on page 190. And he talks about Norman talks about the consequences of discovery. And I think that Everett was going beyond just discovering that Norman's black and that James isn't his slave. And I'm wondering if that part of that was meant for us. And maybe this is just a self-examination thing, but if identity is a motif that Everett's discussing, is it directed to us? Are we afraid of either accepting our own identity as to who we are? And obviously, the older we get, the more I think that most of us think about it as how we see ourselves versus how others see us. And then it made me think about the Peter principle, that theory that I've forgotten who came up with it, that at least in work and business and your vocation, you are maybe not necessarily vocation, but you rise to your highest level of incompetence. And I wonder if people live with that every day. I will admit that the first 2 years when I was teaching, I had that fear all the time. Are these kids going to know that I don't know what the hell I'm doing? And I remember you came in on my first day and said, "Are you scared?" And I said, "Yeah, a little bit." And you said, "Well, you should be, because they're going to know." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And that was about 10 minutes before my first class. So I was like, "Okay, thank you." And it was good advice. It was hard truth, but it was good advice. And that is one profession that you just can't BS it. You can't. And I just wonder if, and certainly anybody who's got living with a great secret, hiding something, living with guilt, anything, are we all afraid of the consequence of discovery? And I don't know.
Your point, I think, is epitomized by the guy who throws the coal in the furnace in the boat, that he hasn't seen the guy that's allegedly his master,
right,
in his memory,
right,
but he still is going to follow it because
he's playing his role.
Yeah, and I think absolutely that is definitely understanding your identity and making decisions about who you are is at the heart of that book, no question. We definitely, would you still recommend the book, Ian?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, gosh. Without question.
Okay.
Without question. And I know some people have said, it's okay. Yeah. And others have said it's brilliant. And others have said the paternity reveal totally turned them off for it. Yeah. And that's okay. But I think, to your point, it's sad if you let that one thing cloud the rest of the narrative, because it's so great. And he doesn't let slaves off the hook either when he talks about on 195, he says, "Bad as whites were, they had no monopoly on duplicity, dishonesty, or perfidy."
Hmm.
So he suggested that this is a mankind problem.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
humankind. This isn't, I mean, yeah, as bad as whites are, they're not the only ones who suffer from it. And that's a bigger issue. Um, anyway,
Yeah.
I think it's a marvelous read, and because of it, I'm going to read some other ones that you suggested.
Okay.
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
I
Got
admittedly I
stuff
didn't
going
read
on.
anything in the past week, and anything except like football prompts and stupid news stories about which I don't really care. But
No.
um,
Well, I have two lighter items for you.
yes,
So I originally thought about this podcast while I was running. So I think ideas that come to me when I'm running, I have to share. So
sure.
one, I was listening to a song, and there was a line in the song that said, "I'll be waiting for your call with my hand on the phone." And I was like, you know what? That's an old dude. Because wouldn't a teenager or like somebody young say my phone? You're like, I think that
Instead
I
of the
think
phone.
right. I think we say my phone more than the phone. Remember the phone was just like in
Personal
the
pronoun
house.
instead of the article. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Like I think it used to be and the phone was, I mean, it was such a big part of our life, but so small compared to now. You
Well,
know?
and to your point, it was shared.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Like get the phone. I mean, how many
Yes,
times did we hear that,
right.
that growing up? Oh, I
Or
hate the phone.
get off the phone. Did Vita ever yell at you to get off the phone?
Yes. Yes. Will you get off the phone?
Right.
And, I just think about how my mom would always answer the phone. She would call, she'd find out who it was.
Yeah.
She'd yell for me, and then she'd listen to every damn word I said on that phone.
Mom's 8.
I mean, it is so different. I mean, another reason why there is no way that we could relate to anybody under like 25. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
No.
And my second thing, I was running, and I saw a dude blowing the snow off his car with a leaf blower, and I don't know how I felt about it. I think it might be genius.
If it's light enough.
Yeah, well, he had a battery. It was like a charge, like one of
No,
those.
I mean, if the snow's light enough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like overnight and then got some precipitation on it, it's thick. I don't know if that would work.
I don't think you can do it. Right.
But the flurry, that is genius.
He made the call. He's like, I think I can do it. And I'm walking by, and he's just like dusting the snow. I was like, oh my gosh. I've been living this life of labor for no particular reason.
It's pretty wise and very ingenuitive.
Okay.
Is that a word? Ingenuity.
Another why we're on the porch as society declines. My child Sid also referred to something that they've read, that movies are now being made with the idea of a second screen being looked at. So writers are now urged to repeat plot points frequently during the course of an episode or a movie. And so
I think Matt Damon just made that same point in an interview about The Rip, that he said Netflix specifically wants the plot to be in that vein. Yeah. And so what did Sid offer a thought about that, or?
Well, because they were here and I got like an email. Have you ever gotten these emails where the plot of Seven Dials explained, or like you just finished a series and then you get an email saying, or some notification saying,
I actually don't.
I've had several of these where like, oh, this explained. I'm like, I just watched it. I know what happened, but I'm going to say I've had a half a dozen of them.
Really?
Like, yeah, pluribus explained. Okay, thank you. But I was watching it. But I think, and so I was just saying that is very weird. And Sid had said it's because
we try to enforce a rule in our house, one screen at a time.
Yeah.
I admittedly, if I know I'm going to watch something and try and focus on it, I'm going to have my phone in another room. But there's certainly time. Football, obviously, we're back and forth. constantly, right? We're talking about it, but there's time because you got 6-7 second plays, and then you're, which is not necessarily an excuse, except you're just enjoying it with somebody else. I don't think that most kids are doing that. I don't think they're watching shows together. I think, to Sid's point, I think they're doing other stuff at the same time.
Yeah. You playing, I don't know, Minecraft or whatever the kids play today.
Right. And that, to me, speaks to the nationwide ADD we have, that we just can't focus on the one thing. Do you have kids in your classes when you put on, and I just mean kids who aren't otherwise able, or who don't have hearing deficiencies, do they ask you to put the text on movies? Because I had kids the last couple of years, please put the comments on, and I would say no. I want you to listen. I want you to pay attention. If there were no, IEPs, whatever, if there were no issues, I said, I want you to pay attention and listen to the dialogue. This is part of what we're talking about, engaging with other people. I want you to engage with this film and not just read stuff and be done with it, because it's more than that. Do you have kids who ask that?
Oh, yeah, and I fold like a house of cards. Okay.
Just not worth it.
Yeah, just please like me. Look at this. You're exactly. I never thought of it until like some very vocal kids said, and that was probably 5 years ago, something like that.
I can't stand it. I hate watching that. Obviously, if it's foreign, fine. Yes, I need it because I'm an idiot and I'm single lingual. But
that's nice. Single lingual. I'm going to use that.
But pay attention just a little. Yeah. Just engage.
The other thing I want to ask, what's your grocery shopping regimen in the household?
I wish we had more of a, but we don't. We certainly don't go, as needed. But it's usually a weekend thing, and Sarah likes to do it. But Market Basket is our usual spot. Obviously, the earlier the better. The thing about, I love the Market Basket prices, but they are just unloading all day, every day. And it's just so crowded. It's not the experience that used to be kind of chill and, I'm just going to go to the grocery store and do my thing. Which is not to say I like to linger. They look
fantastic.
What's that?
They're all dressed up. They look fantastic.
Yeah. But which is not, I didn't like to linger in the store, but I don't like the crowding. I don't like the cart being pushed around. I don't like having to negotiate all the stuff. And now, my other friend is like, why do you go? Just use Instacart. And I'm like, yeah. You guys have the Instacart?
No, I've never done it. I've never done it once.
I have done it once, and I was like, look at everything I clicked on is right here at my front door.
I have not made I have no good reason.
It costs $4 extra, but I only done it the once. I don't make a habit of it, and I don't know why. Whole Foods even does it for free if you're an Amazon Prime member. And I guess, we don't shop a lot at Whole Foods because everything is quite pricey. But we like to get stuff from there. We like to get certain produce from there, and fish and seafood from there. But I don't know. What, you got something? You get something to?
Well, no, we went to the Market Basket, and usually we go to Trader Joe's and then Whole Foods. That's our
love the
one
Trader.
Of our Saturday morning routine. We got to drive to Portland for it, but as you know, local grocery stores are out because I am not doing 10 parent-teacher conferences while I am shopping. That is not on. Genuinely, the drive to Portland is a small price to pay.
Right.
To avoid that.
Plus, you can get some breakfast.
Store. Yeah, you
go to the porthole or something.
It's a regimen. Yes. Yeah. But when I was last in Market Basket, they have a great soundtrack at Market Basket. Love the good jams playing at Market Basket. And
Sarah and her best friend Sue love the Market Basket soundtrack.
They've got a great
soundtrack.
They
play Jeff Zackow's Brandy all the time.
Well, they played "Blinded Me with Science" while I was there, and there was and it reminded because there's one part where you go, and I'm like, I love coughs in songs, and it's always been a thing that I've enjoyed when the singer coughs, and I was like, all right, I got to think of the number of songs that I love that have coughs in it. So I came up with my list. Are you ready?
I am.
Roxanne, the Police, Pennyroyal Tea, Nirvana, Raspberry Beret starts with a cough at the beginning. Are you gonna be my girl? Jet starts with a great cough in the beginning. And then I Can't Stand the Rain, Missy Elliott, when she takes a hit of the endo. And I just love a cough in a song. But
okay,
yes.
I would just add 2 more to that.
Oh, good.
Chiba Chiba starts with a cough.
Appropriately so. Oh, Tone Loc.
At the very beginning. And I think, what is that song off Back in Black from AC/DC that starts with, you can actually hear them smoking? And I think that starts with, you hear the lighter and it goes, and then there's the, anyway, that's terrible reporting, but there's the one. And it starts as like a ballad and then it kind of takes off a little bit. But interesting you would say that. I'm not offended by that. I love hearing, in an acoustic song, I love hearing the fingers move up the guitar strings. I like that little squeak. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. Because that, if nothing else, tells me that someone's playing the guitar and they're not pushing a button somewhere.
Unfortunately, the only example that comes to mind is that More the Words Can Say. Remember that Extreme
song?
Of
course I do. Yeah. There's Randy Rhoads does when he does his version of D. Oh, it's so good. He does a studio outtake. I think it's on the Randy Rhoads tribute album. And it's fantastic. It's an acoustic ballad and it's just instrumental and it's great. And also Jimmy Page in Bron-Y-Aur, I think I'm saying it right. Not Bron-Y-Aur Stomp, but just the BRON-Y-AUR. That's an instrumental song also, and I think he's playing a 12-string, and I think he plays 2 melodies simultaneously. It's just phenomenal. But maybe greatest rock guitarist.
One more
ever.
music question for you is: did you pick a desert island album? And do albums matter? Is probably a bigger question we don't have time for. But what is your desert island album?
I didn't pick one, Brian.
Ian.
I know. It started with my question was the first 10 albums you ever had, and then you went, and then I added Desert Island, and then I was like,
All right, we'll table it.
I want to hear yours, and then I will consider thinking about mine still.
And I did not make my list of 10 first albums.
Okay.
So
I didn't, but I have some.
But my desert album is Boxer by The National. And it's just because I just find it endlessly interesting. Like I don't, there are songs on there that I don't necessarily understand. I think some of them are very accessible. I just think it's a really interesting mix of an album. And it's also when The National just kind of took off. But that is definitely my desert island. And your assignment is next time to come up.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that for the next one. The Stranger was a pretty big album for me growing up, and it's got a lot of different Billy Joel in it, a lot of different styles in it, and but yeah, I for now I would stay with that. As far as do they matter? I think they are coming back.
Oh, I like that.
I think they're coming back. I mean, just because I occasionally pop into like Newbury Comics, and it seems like the album section is growing back to what it once was. Well, not what it once was, but it's growing. The price is
targeted
crazy.
To us, or is it targeted to Daniel? Daniel, do albums matter? Daniel has a lot of vinyl. He says that albums matter.
On his own, or like from his parents, or
Mix.
mix? Fantastic.
Oh, he was raised well.
Yes, that's clear.
Yeah. I mean, well,
That's clear.
you got to be raised well if you want to hang out with two 50-year-olds on the porch. All right. Let's go. We got to close this out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hand it to you, my friend.
I want to promise the people listening that this is not going to be a regular chapter or segment on our show, but it's just the timing is such that it has to be repeated. We, in the past week, lost our 14-and-a-half-year-old lab, Daisy. And I know this is probably not, podcast appropriate, but I'm going to put this picture over right there.
That's fantastic.
She was just a tremendous dog. We rescued her. Sarah found her on a lab rescue site. We rescued her from this basic birthing factory in Texas, where she had, I think, 5 litters in 5 years, had never been inside, had never seen stairs. The little flea bites and stuff on her ears suggested that they didn't really take great care of her. So she was exhausted by the time we got her when she was 5 years old. And she was just so incredible for us. And I thought one way to suggest it would be that when people in our circle found out that she had passed, we had a non-dog person. Sarah's friend Sue is not really into dogs, but she said if she ever owned a dog, it would only be if she could have Daisy. Our boarding person called, because we've had to board her a couple times when we've gone on trips. She called and said she was very sad that she wasn't there the day we had to take her in because she didn't get to say goodbye to her. Our dog sitter called, Val, who we've used a few times in the past couple of years. She's actually the aunt of one of my former students. And she comes over to the house. She would take care of Daisy. When we came back from Italy, she had left us a tray of cookies that she had baked for us. And she did this. She washed the sheet she slept on. Anyway, Val was incredible. But she texted Sarah and said when she read her Facebook post, she made a sound such that her husband had to come in from the other room to check and make sure that she was all right. We got a note from the veterinarian who put her down and said it was her pleasure to care for her for so long. She was just such a soft-spoken, quiet, incredible dog. And we're going to miss her. We got Maple, but, it was so telling when for the first day, Maple was just walking around the house looking for her. She just kept going from room to room to room and then stop, look back at me, then keep looking. And you could just tell. You could tell. So it was a rough week. It was a rough week. It was rough on the girls. But that's the worst part of being a dog owner. Yeah. But she was
everybody involved won the lottery, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Daisy and you guys.
She was just marvelous,
she was lovely.
and it's not a silly thing, though, trite to say that in a number of ways she rescued us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's end with one thing that I should have confirmed whether you did this or not. We were talking about offering some suggestions or questions from the group and setting up some sort of email where people can send stuff.
It is in the works. I have not done it since I suggested it. I'm trying to find out a way to get both of us first-person access. Oh, but I suppose if we just share the password, it wouldn't be that difficult. Right. But everything just comes in.
Daniel just did that like teenager head shake, like you're an idiot. It's really simple.
Yep, not surprising. Not surprising, but primarily because everywhere that I have Gmail, it just pops up open. Like on my iPad, my phone, and my laptop, I never have to put in my password because it just pops up open. So if there's a way that I could get it to pop up for Brian too.
Yeah, well, I've had one email address in my life, so let's see.
Right.
Let's see what happens. And
I will get on it, and it will be if I can get it to Daniel, before this goes to air, I will. Maybe he can post a screenshot of it or something.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And anyway, so yeah, to that point, we would love to have. You were saying.
Oh yeah, comments,
suggestions, or
suggestions,
comments.
Yeah. Praise.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
let's go, Pats.
All right.
Right.
It's going to be a great day. All
Love
right, my
the
boy.
Throwback to the non-Hall of Famer.
Bastard. All right. Have a good one.
Enjoy the
guys.
day.
Her Majesty's Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she changes from day to day.